What's up, y'all? I am set for music, so just give me a second here. But if anybody's here, good morning, and I'm excited about this painting. It's got a lot of colors, so we'll get started in just a second. Hopefully, the music isn't too loud, but I can always turn it down. All right, so like I was saying, there's a lot of colors going on today. We do have our normal palette of blue, red, white, yellow, and black. And we also have our regular brushes as well as we normally do. So, again, we have our big brush, we have our medium brush, and then we also have like a liner brush. Now, I do want to recommend using um, a fan brush today. And here, let me go get mine. So again, I do recommend using a fan brush today for the tree, and something. So I normally have two brushes of the same kind, one dry and then one for the paint. So for example, our waterfall right here, we're going to be doing a lot of blending. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and get started here. Now I did mix my colors already just so I can have a good amount of color. But I made all these colors with our primary colors. So again, red, blue, yellow. I was able to make pink, purple, like a aqua color, and then also a very lime green. All right, so let's get started with our background here. We do have a lot of paint going on over here in the background. It's a different kind of background. I normally use colors like this, but I do like how it came out. So with the pink, I am going to start closer to the top. Down. Maybe about halfway. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same dirty brush and I'm going to dip it in white. And I'm going to basically drag that paint all the way to the top. I do want it to be lighter towards the top. Sometimes you'll get streaks of that pink that we made, but that's okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that same brush and then just going to run it down. So you'll see happening with just those two colors. Now with that same dirty brush, I am going to pick up some white and the purple that I mixed. So I mixed a light purple, like a lightish purple, if y'all see it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and basically go over that pink towards the bottom to mix that purple and pink and make them kiss. So I'm not going to go all the way down with this color. Now, if you're doing this with oil paint, it is a lot easier to just blend all those colors without having to put more white on your brush. But being that we are using acrylic, that just makes it a lot easier for me to blend. But it also does help that my paint stays kind of wet towards the bottom here. So again, all I'm doing is I'm just doing a little bit more blending. Might add a little bit more pink. All right, so before I move on, I am going to let that completely dry. Not sure if anybody is in here, but again, I do appreciate anybody coming in. Might be a little too early. So again, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually just waiting on this paint to dry. But while I do that, I can go ahead and show y'all the finished piece here. I really like the tree. So this is it in the bottom here. It's a little glowy just because of the paint that I used. So again, y'all can see it. All right. So I think my paint's dry. Actually, no, it's not dry yet. Sometimes it takes a while. Alrighty, it looks pretty dry to me. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my medium brush and I'm gonna put and use my purple here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our mountains on the right side there. Now if you notice the mountains though, you see a lot of that paint coming through. So the way I did that was by watering down my paint. So again, all I do is I dip my brush in a little bit of water. To make that paint more of a watery consistency as opposed to like a thick consistency. Now the shapes, as far as the mountains, you can do whatever you like. I do like having straight lines for the top for some areas. So again, you kind of see that translucency. You can always go over as many times as you want to make it as dark as you want. But I'm kind of just getting the shape of my mountains here before I move on to doing that. So again, if it looks too dark, just dip your brush in a little bit of paint again. And that watery consistency will come back. So really all I'm doing right now is I'm just going over certain areas to get a little darker. Coming through, I do appreciate it. Oh, hey, what's up, SS? Thanks for being here. Merca, thanks for being here. If you guys want to see the example painting that I have here, I'll close it up a little bit. We got our waterfalls. So I'm working on the mountains right now, and I was saying earlier, one thing is I'm watering the paint so that way you can see the colors behind it. Arnie, what's up, Charles? Thanks for being here. So yes, I was watering the paint. So this is how it looks right now. You could barely see it, but that's all right. We're just doing our first layer here. So really with the first layer, and I think it just comes down to like any kind of painting, always trust the process when it comes down to that first layer. It might look like poop, but just trust the process. Before you work, again, when it comes down to painting with acrylic, it's always in layers. So you want to make sure that you're doing layers for painting with acrylic. So all I'm doing is I'm dipping my brush in a little bit of water to make it more of a watery consistency. And that's how I'm able to get that watery effect. Or not watery, but translucent. As I get lower down here, I am going to darken this just a tad bit. Oh, thanks, Mike, for the raid. I appreciate it. I had a feeling I knew some of you guys. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I appreciate it, Mike, if you're here. I know not everybody's into painting and whatnot, but if you guys do like it, just hit that like button. I do appreciate it. If you're new here and you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. I try to do classes every week. So far, I've been doing pretty good about that. Just started the channel not too long ago. Charles, you could definitely paint. I think anybody can paint. And I think Bob Ross was pretty big on that too. When I first started, getting into art, I I wasn't good at it. It took practice. So I think it's all about, you know, just with anything else. If you want it that bad, why don't you could practice. All right, so I think we got our mountain as far as the purple one here, but I do want to let this completely dry, and the reason why is because we have our blue mountain down yonder over here, and I want it to where it overlaps this purple one. So I need it to be completely dry. So again, while we're waiting for that to dry, I can show you guys this guy again. There you go. The glow with my lamp over here makes it a little bit harder, but I hope y'all could see that. Even the little details. Oh, there we go. So if you close up on those details, it's nothing crazy. It's just all about where you're applying your paint, how much you're applying. I think that that's what gets a lot of people. They fill up their brush and they don't really know exactly what they're doing. Oh, nice, Charles. Yeah, I think everybody has an artistic side. It's just all about, you know, using it and whatnot. I will be doing another painting. I'm not sure about today, but definitely this week. And if you guys see the paintings in the background over here, these are all classes that we've done, except this one right here. Whoop, hold up, can you see it? This one right here, the graveyard one. But other than that, all the other paintings that we have on the wall here, we've made on stream. Hey, what's up, Ricky? Thanks for being here. Alrighty, so this side has dried already, so this is really all I care about because my mountains are going to go over just this little tiny area. I'm going to wait for this to dry at its own time. But for our mountains, we have our regular blue, and I am doing all of this with my medium brush. If you feel more confident doing it with a liner brush and then filling it in, that's fine too. But I'm strictly using just my medium brush here. So I am going to start with our biggest point here, or I guess the tallest tip of the mountain. Now, as I go down, all I'm doing is just little squiggly lines here and there for the for the mountain. So we stopped our color here about a third way of our canvas here, as far as the background. But if you notice, I'm pulling my mountain a little bit further down. And I will go back in with that purple. I just want to let it dry a little bit before I go back in. So again, I'm getting my shape in first, and then I am filling it in after. Just want to mention, if you're just coming in, this is a trust the process type of painting right here. A lot of layers going on with this painting. I also do mention that, you don't necessarily have to copy exactly what I'm doing here. Your mountains could look super different than mine, and it would still probably look really cool. Oh, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. No, yeah, I noticed a couple familiar faces, so I do appreciate it. I normally don't stream this early, but we got a snowstorm over here, so why not? You have to trust the process, Charles, because I'll tell you this too, like especially for big projects. Let's say, for example, you have a way bigger canvas. This is, I believe, a 10 by 10. But let's say you have one that's a foot by whatever, right? You have a really huge canvas. Well, the thing is that you want to get at least some color down on your canvas. You can always leave it alone and come back to it the next day and start adding those details. I think that's what's really nice about not even painting with acrylic. I think just painting in general. Sometimes I'll sit at my desk and I'm painting an example and I'm like, I need a break. And usually when I take a break and I come back to the painting, it's a lot, I don't know, I think that I paint a lot smoother. Maybe my brain needed that little bit of a break. So if you're just coming in right now, I'm going between mountains to go ahead and get a thick coat on there where I want the color to be more prominent. Your stick figures are amazing. No, yes, yes, it's crazy weather right now. Hopefully everybody's staying warm. You're good, Ricky. I appreciate you being here. Again, thank you everybody for being here. Even if you left already, I do appreciate y'all stopping by, dropping a like. This is just one of those paintings where you just gotta do a lot of layers. Yeah, Charles, I know LD was saying that too, that it gets really hot over there in Australia. But y'all use Celsius, so I always have to convert the temperature because I'm not really sure how it works. I work in freedom units over here. but I believe it's like 30 degrees Celsius is like 90 degrees over here. I think that's right, but I could be wrong. Oh wow, 40? That's crazy. Yeah, sure. I would appreciate that. No, yeah, it says it's supposed to be 25 degrees Fahrenheit over here, but it really feels like less than 10 because it's really windy out there right now. Like I said, we got a little bit of a snowstorm going on over here in my. SS, I want to say that the probably a place that's got a good in between is maybe Tennessee, Oklahoma. Um, I don't think it gets too hot in Oklahoma, but I could be wrong too. I've only passed by there um, on my way to somewhere else. My way down to Texas, actually. Alrighty, so this top area should be dry. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding some of those little highlights. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of that purple that we've made and mix a little bit of white to make it a little lighter. So I just want to show y'all real quickly. This is the purple that I just made right now. It's like a really light purple. And this is the purple that I have for my mountains. So if y'all could see that actually, this is the one that I just mixed. It's a little bit lighter. So I'm using the same brush. I'm using my medium brush. But what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I have, I don't know if y'all could see that actually. Hold up. Can y'all see that? It's like a chiseled end. So all I do is I run my brush back and forth on the palette to make it chiseled. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that chiseled end. I'm not going to use it horizontally. I'm going to use it vertically and go off on the sides of the mountain here in kind of like a zigzag motion. So I don't know if y'all could see that right there real quick. But just a little zigzag motion on the left side of the mountain. I want to show that this is where light source is coming through. So just different areas of the mountain, but you want to keep it towards the left side. You can also do it here towards the top or the tip. And again, keep it towards the left side. You can use whatever brush you want, Ricky. Now you could deviate a little bit, um, and go into different areas to show a little bit of dimension, but nothing too crazy. And again, you don't want to completely block all of your color that you have behind. So you want to be conservative with your paint. I'm really just using the tip of the brush. You can even use that same color to give your blue mountain a couple of highlights. It's strange how -40 degrees is the same in both Fahrenheit and Celsius, but nothing else equals up. Yeah, I do agree with that. I don't know. We got to take it up with whoever invented this stupid system. It should be the same across the board, but I don't know. So actually, you know what I want to do? I want to use my regular purple just because it's coming up more as like a whitish color on my blue mountain, and I want it to look purple. So again, I'm only doing it in certain areas, very sparingly. And I don't know if y'all could see that. All right. I believe my blue should be dry, but just to make sure, I'm going to work on the purple one right here. So I do have a teal already mixed. The way I teal was taking a little bit of yellow, some white, and a little bit of blue. So you want to do about the same amount of blue and white. I mean, I'm sorry, blue and yellow, and then mix your white. It's going to come out kind of greenish at first, but the more blue you add, the more teal it's going to get. So that's the way I go about it. Now, if it starts getting too blue, again, just add yellow to bring it back to that kind of aqua teal color. Or if you already have a bottle of mixed teal, then you can use that too. But same thing like I did the purple highlights right here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this teal and I'm going to do my waterfalls. So all these little areas that I have, I'll be adding that teal. And all using my medium brush. And with the tip, I kind of want to bring it down so that way I can have different lines coming through, not just one solid line. And I'm bringing this all the way down to where my color. So again, just to show y'all. There we go. And I'm doing it anywhere where I want to have a waterfall. Now, is this realistic? Probably not, because I don't think waterfalls work this way. But this is our painting, and we could do whatever we want. Speaking of realism, I will be doing a sandwich painting stream. I kind of want to do that this week. So, Smoking Spaceman brought up, hey, what's up, Road King? Thanks for being here. Yeah, Smoking Spaceman brought up a really good idea of painting or making a sandwich and then painting it on stream. And I think that's a great idea. So I kind of want to do that this week. So I was thinking, because I have ingredients right now for a BLT. So if I just stack up a bunch of bacon and, your lettuce, tomato, that kind of stuff, and go from there, I'm thinking that would be a really good idea. But I also was thinking like still life. So I'm sure you guys have seen those paintings before, maybe in your mom's kitchen, where it's like a basket of whatever fruit. I want to do something very similar to that. So add like a little background, maybe something else off to the side. Maybe like a jar of mayonnaise or something. I don't know. But I think it would be a pretty cool idea. So SS, if you're watching, or I'm sorry, not SS, Smoky Spaceman, if you're watching this later, I definitely want to do that. So again, there's only certain areas that I'm bringing it all the way down. Why waste veggies on a BLT? Tomatoes with salt and pepper taste divine. I don't know about you, Charles, but I really like tomatoes. And lettuce, I kind of agree with you on the lettuce, but it makes it look pretty. I think that's why they added lettuce to begin with, because they made it look pretty. But I know most men don't really care for vegetables. But I'm not a man, so I will be adding lettuce to my BLT sandwich. Oh, you don't even put mayo on yours, Charles? No, SS. I'll tell you this. I think the less judgmental you are about your paintings, the more you'll be able to learn. There's sometimes streams where I do, and my example is far better than the live painting that I'm doing. But it's because I took my time with it and whatnot. It's not being critical of your own art. I do agree with that because I'm always super critical of my art. I was actually asking, does my painting look good? Does it look good enough for me to go ahead and stream it? But um, I think as far as your own art, your own personal art, it's not like you're selling this art, right? So as far as your own personal art, I think you should just be more easy on yourself. Don't be too harsh. Um, so what I did right now, actually, I sprayed my palette right here, so that way it stays nice and wet. That's the one thing about acrylic; it can dry on you pretty fast. And being that we're doing layers here, I just want to make sure I have enough paint. So we're gonna let just a tiny bit because now we're gonna work on little foggy area. So this is what I mean by this right here. This fog wasn't supposed to be this tall. And I was trying to fix it and trying to fix it. And I just got all the way up there. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep it that way. But if you guys do notice those little areas where it kind of goes over the mountain, you kind of see colors all over the place. That's what we're going for, but just at a lower. It's not going to be as tall as this, I promise you. But yes, fog does move in waves. I'm not saying that this area is terrible. I'm just saying that it wasn't supposed to be this tall. You were supposed to be able to see more of the Blue Mountain going down. So we'll try to achieve that on this one. And if this one comes out better than that one, then I will be repainting that one for just another canvas to be able to use. Yeah, bacon grease is great, but I'm not smothering my bread with bacon grease. I'd rather save that for a steak or potatoes. Oh man, if you guys ever fry up potatoes in bacon fat, that's really good stuff. All right, I'm getting hungry here. Let's move on. So you can use your big brush for this, but because I am going to mix just a little bit more color, I'm going to use my medium brush. And being that I already have the paint on my brush, I'll just add it to the canvas. So I know this is Ricky's favorite part when we do circular motions on the canvas here. That's what we're gonna do on this one. So we're gonna be adding our paint in a circular motion. You could do, back and forth horizontal, just fill it up a little bit more. And then after, you could do those circular motions to add that effect. All right, so I'm gonna stop right there. Being that my brush is still dirty, I have that teal color on there. I'm gonna dip it in some white, and I do have a good amount of white on my brush with that color. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up the color from the bottom and do those circular motions going up to where my mountain is. So if you pick up too much color and it goes back to that teal color, just go in with more white. And remember, oh, well, actually, I don't think anybody was here when I was explaining this in the beginning, but I did mention in the beginning how you want to have a dry brush right next to you. So I got my color in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take, and this brush is pretty dry, so I'm going to take my big brush, and all I'm going to do is, because the brush is dry, it's going to be able to move those colors around and create that fog effect for us. So just move it up slightly. You don't want it to be too much. So I don't know if y'all could see that right there, but that's what we're going for. If your paint does dry, don't take your dry brush and add paint to it. Just go back down if your paint is still wet and towards the bottom, and bring it back up. Or you could take the brush that you were already using for the paint Oh yeah, vegetable oil is not good for you. I don't use vegetable oil. Tallow, but it's expensive. So when I make bacon, I just save and and use that. I also like using coconut oil and avocado oil. But that stuff's really expensive, so conservatively. So again, the white towards the top. I don't want to use it on the bottom. I want to keep that color of that teal color towards the bottom area. I'm only using this the white towards the top over here. And once I got my color in, I'm going to just use my dry brush, same circular motion, and get those little foggies towards the bottom of the mountain there. And you know what? I might make the fog a little bit bigger towards the right side over here. Yeah, Charles, watch out for Ricky. He's a how to say it. No, Ricky's actually a really big supporter of the channel, so I do appreciate Ricky, even though he's a little degen. All right, I'm liking how that looks. So just so y'all can see it a little bit closer, right? You know what you are, Ricky. Don't act innocent. Don't mind me. I'm just adding more blue to my my mountain here. And I think I'll probably add just a tiny bit more purple towards the bottom of my mountain because it does look, you can see the difference there. And Ricky, you just proved my point with that. I don't condone degeneracy. That's just how Ricky is. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let that completely dry again before we move on. I see here that I'm at an hour already, so this might be a 2-hour stream. Again, I normally like to keep them at an hour and a half, but this might be a 2-hour stream. We'll see. We'll see how fast I move right now. Yes, I'm in Illinois. So it gets kind of crazy over here. Why are you here? Because you like art, Ricky. I'm not sure. But I do appreciate you being here. So for anybody who's just coming in, again, thank you for being here. Just want to show y'all again the example painting that we have here. And here's our live painting. I don't know if y'all could see that too good. There you go. My lamp, again, I try to I try to position it where it gives us a good amount of lighting for the painting, so y'all could see it while I'm just painting away. Oh, nice, SS. It's all right. Um, Family can get weird. Yeah, you see the circular motions real good. Yeah, check that out. Wait, hold up. There we go. Y'all can see that. Oh, there we go. Give us that fog effect. Sky Mountains. Yeah, you know what? That would have been a better name for this painting. I was trying to figure out a good name for it and I just called it Waterfalls. But that probably would have been a better name, Mark. Thanks for being here. Alrighty. So I think my paint is dry, but let's double check right real quick. So again, you can always double check to see if your paint looks wet by just moving your canvas around, and if you see a glare, like right here, I see a glare, so it's still a little wet. But as far as this corner area, I think we should be good. So while that's still drying there, I will be. You misled me. That's funny. Yeah, you know what? Sky Mountain is a better name. I do agree. I might change the name of the stream once I'm done. I don't think I could do it right now. Okay, so with if y'all have watched a couple of streams already, y'all know that I like to start off with black first and then add our colors after. The black is really just to map out our shape, and it also gives us shadow. So it makes it a lot easier for us to go ahead and layer colors on top of it. Excuse me. I had to burp. All right. So yes, it lets us layer colors on top of that fairly easily. So all I'm doing for my rock area, tree area here is I'm letting my brush kind of just take over. I'm not doing a particular shape per se. I'm just going more of on a diagonal. So I start at the top wherever I want it to end. And then I kind of like move my brush like this. I don't know how you call this. But I just move it a little bit so that way I can get some little squiggles in there and just different one long straight line. And then once you got that done, you fill it in with black, let that dry, and we'll be able to move on to our tree area. So actually, I do want to make kind of a big rock here. There you go. Twirling the mustache. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Like, because I'm doing this with my fingers. So, yeah, that kind of makes sense. All right. And then let me see if this is dry over here. Yep. For our tree, if you guys notice, I got it like at a weird bent angle here. You could do as many branches as you want. You could do things as you want. I'm going to try to make this tree a little bit more on the curvier side, have more curves to it. Well, yeah, initially I wanted it to look like water and fog and mist and stuff. So that's why I got like the water coming down here and then it meets with this. It's the same color that we're using there. So, um, but I know art is subjective. So if you see something different, then, you know, you see something different. I actually just want to add more of that teal color so y'all could see it a little bit better. I don't know if it looks white on camera. This ain't gonna take too long to dry, so I'm cool with it being a 2 hour stream. It looks like I'll be painting over my example painting over here. I'm not sure who that is. Charles Diane Fossey? Not sure who that is, but I could look it up. I'm gonna just give it a second for the teal that I just added to dry. I Anytime that you're going to start working on your foreground, you want to make sure that your background is good because you can't touch your background after, or you can technically, but it's going to be a lot harder for you to fix anything that you want to fix. So always make sure that your background is where it's at before you start touching your foreground. Oh. All right. So like I said, for my tree, I definitely want to add some curves to it. Oh, gotcha. What's up, Mark? I'm pretty sure I said hi, but again, thanks for being here. Keep them both. The only problem with that SS is that I'm limited on canvases, and if I want to do like 2 or 3 paintings a week, I have to paint over something. You know, I usually keep the ones that look pretty good. and that's why they're up on the wall over here. But I'm limited on canvases, so if you guys do like the stream, you got like the art, and you want to see more of these classes, I did pin all of my stuff. You're not obviously it's not necessary, but I do appreciate it because art materials are just expensive. So exactly. So yeah, that's really why I do it. If I was, if I was really well off, then I wouldn't care. But with that being said, the tree, I'm going to start towards the bottom right here. And I do want to apply the most pressure toward. I'm going to show you guys on my hand right here, real quick. So, what I'm going to do is I want to start big. And then as I get closer toward, I'm going to do this thing with my brush where I lift so it gets a little bit skinnier. So again, that's why I want to start at the bottom. If you start, it's going to be a lot to land. So I do start from the bottom, and then also you can mess with the thickness of the tree towards the bottom. It's a lot harder to do it towards the top. All right, so let's add some curves to this tree. Excuse me. So again, as I'm going more up, I'm releasing that pressure off of my brush there to make it thinner and thinner and thinner. I hope that makes sense. So I'm applying pressure to my brush or my bristles towards the bottom, and I'm releasing that pressure the higher I go up. And it starts making those branches. Now I am going to fix my tree right here by bringing this line down, curving this just a tiny bit more so that way my roots make sense. And again, you can add as many branches as you want. I am going to keep it simple so that way we could see more of our background. But if you want to add a bunch of branches and a bunch of leaves and stuff like that, then again, by all means, it's your painting. It's your painting, your canvas, your money. And I'm just making this just a tiny bit thicker. Maybe go with another crazy curve here. All right, something like that. It doesn't completely cover our mountains, but it gives us a good enough space to work with. And I'm just gonna fix some of these angles right here so it actually makes sense. There you go. So this tree is a little bit thicker than that one, but again, you can make it as big or as thin as you want. And I'm gonna let that completely dry again. Um, but being that I shouldn't have washed my brush actually, we could use the black to add that shadow on all of our areas where we have our leaves. So if you guys see right here, we have black underneath this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our brush, and it's the same brush. You can, with your fan brush, where is my fan brush? You could do it with this guy. You could do it with your fan brush, or you could do it with the brush that you just use. Hey LD, what's up? Thanks for being here. Yeah, see, I think that's why Ricky is able to able to do so many innuendos is because I don't really know the verbiage as far as the verbiage that I can use without making it uh, double meaning, I guess. Yeah, disturbed disturbed lyrics there, but changed it. That's funny. Thanks for being here, LD. I'm sorry. Thank you again. I do appreciate you. Get some sleep. I'm sorry I did a 2 a.m. stream on your side of the river there. You know, I did watch a lot of Bob Ross, but Bob Ross says the same stuff that I'm saying. So I think it's just my audience. Maybe it's just Ricky. I don't think it's everybody. I think it's just Ricky. Hey, what's up, Bloody? Thanks for being here. All right, going back to the painting here. I'm taking my medium brush. I cleaned it because it's a habit of just cleaning my brush as soon as I'm done with something. But it's the same thing. I'm using my medium brush, the one I used for the tree, and I filled it with black. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna fill in those little areas that I want some leaves in. So all I'm doing is pushing my brush down and getting a rough shape of that area. So if y'all could see that, all I'm doing is pushing my brush down to get a rough shape. I am using my brush on a horizontal side. But again, you could do whichever one you feel comfortable with. Now you do want to leave gaps between your different bundles of leaves there to show again the background. You don't want to completely cover it. So this is what I mean right here. Oh. These little gaps. You want to leave some. Oh my lord. Okay. I'm just gonna stop paying attention to chat for a second there. So again, I'm just pushing my brush down to get a general idea of where I want my leaves and stuff to be. I also don't want to completely cover my branches that I. So just be mindful of that when you're pushing down on your canvas. You don't want to cover everything. That's a great movie, Charles. Army of Darkness. A lot of quotes. A lot of quotes. All right, so something like that. We got our basic areas down. And we're going to let that completely dry. It's never too late or early to drink. Smart. It's 6 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe in Africa, it's probably 6 o'clock. How long is the waiting between different layers? It depends on how thick the layer is. If you are doing like an impasto where it's really thick paint, you're gonna wait a couple of minutes. It might be up to an hour if you're doing impasto. But if you are doing what I'm doing right now, I'm just gonna wait another minute, and it's gonna be dry. This is the last one that I was working on, and this is the last one that looks kind of glossy. So the rest of them are pretty dry, but I want to let this one dry before I move on to to the next part here. But yeah, it just depends on how thick it is, or how much paint you added. Alrighty. So now I'm gonna take my fan brush and this guy here and start adding my colors. But I do want to mention that, as far as, if you don't have a fan brush, you could definitely do it with your medium brush. You just want to do it with the tip of the brush though. You don't want to use the entire brush, because we did just use the entire brush to make the shapes of it, but we don't necessarily want to cover all of the black. Again, let's take a look at our example piece here. You can still see some of the black on the leaves here. You can still see some of that black coming out, and it makes these colors pop out even more. So that's why you don't want to cover it, and that's why you want to use the tip of the brush when it comes down to your medium brush or a flat brush. That's why I like using the fan brush, because with this one I got more control as to where I want that stuff. I've never seen a watch paint dry stream. Yeah. I have way between 6 and 6. Oh, I gotcha. Alrighty. So, actually, before we move to that part, sorry, I forgot about the rocks here. Let's make some gray, and that's just by mixing a little bit of black with some white. So I'm gonna make more of a darker gray first, and then I'll add more white to make it lighter. Look at me, my brush is falling apart here. I'm gonna have to put tape on this. This is actually one of my favorite brushes, so I keep using it. I have multiple brushes like this. Um, but for some reason, I always find myself using this one. Alrighty, so I got my dark gray. And just like how we did the blobs for the leaves area, that's what we're going to do with this dark gray color. We're just going to do blobs of, or indications of different rocks going on here. So for example, maybe I want like a really big rock right here. I'm not going to be too detailed as far as the rock in general, but I just want to establish a shape, right? Maybe we got another one going down here. You can even do more of shapes. So let's say, for example, I want to add like an actual shape down here of a rock. you could do that. And again, you can add as many as you want. Make sure that you leave some black right by the tree, because that is going to be our roots of the tree. So you definitely want to leave some black there. And again, we're going to take our same brush, mix a little bit of more white with the gray that we just made, and it's going to make a lighter gray. So we have our shadow, right, established with the black. We're now adding a shape with the gray color that we made. And with the lighter gray, now we're going to add a highlight to our rocks. And again, being that our highlight was mainly towards the right side, we're going to keep that of the rock. And again, just tiny indications of that highlight. If you do big blobs of the highlight, then it's not going to come across the same way as the blobs for the rock or anything else, really. So just tiny indications. Oh yeah, thanks for being here, Charles. By all means, the news is definitely important. Well, I know some would argue that, but again, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. And yeah, rip brush, right? But the good news is that I don't throw my brushes away. I have really old brushes still that I use, and I just tape them up. For example, this one right here. This one actually broke on me, like completely broke. So I taped it up with electrician's tape. This is one of my favorite blending brushes. But again, if you guys notice, I'm not adding too much as far as detail on the rocks. I'm just going little indications of those rocks being there. All right, so before we move on to our leaves here, and we should move on faster, I am going to take now my liner brush. So, where is my liner brush? Here we go. I'm going to take my liner brush and take some of that dark gray that we made. And just like how we did the rocks, we're going to add just different little areas where the light is reflecting from our tree here. So again, I'm keeping it towards the right of the tree. Even on the branches and everywhere else, I'm keeping it towards the right. If the branch is flat, like this one right here, you want to keep it towards the top. Special needs brush? Yeah, look at this. This is ridiculous. It just popped out. Definitely going to have to tape that one down. All right, so like I said, we're going to keep those reflections off towards the right since all of our light is coming from the right here. But again, it's just tiny indications of our tree getting some light source. So all I'm doing is like little lines that I'll lift the brush here and there. So I don't want a continuous line. I'm lifting my brush from time to time to go ahead and get those little indications. Now you can also indicate your roots down here too. So this is a good way of showing where the roots are. So I don't think y'all could see that. But I'll show you guys a close-up in just a second. This is also a good practice to show different dimensions. So for example, it was all black, right? But being that I added a line right in between that little area, it shows that this branch is growing from the back. And I'll do the same thing with this branch that's over here off to the side. So this branch is towards the front, so I can go ahead and add that highlight and go a little lower to indicate that it's a little bit towards the front here. I hope that makes sense. Alrighty, and then we can add our highlight by just mixing a little bit more white to make it lighter. And again, with the highlight, you don't want to add too much. We added the shape, now we just want to add tiny indications of highlights going on. I think some of us tend to overdo highlights, and that's really what makes it look a little weird. So be conservative with your highlights. It makes the painting pop, but you also don't want it to overly do a highlight. It's just for here and there. All right, and I'll show you guys in just a second. Just trying to get this color down. Alrighty. See that from there? There we go. Hey, what's up, Marin? Thanks for being here. Alrighty, so if y'all could see that, that's good. Let's move on to our greenish areas and then we're all done. So I think I can get it done in 10 minutes, but we will see right now. All right, so green and the leaves. I do have 3 different. So I have a dark green, a medium green, and then a really light green, almost yellow. And you'll see it in these areas over here. That's what you want to do. Being that we have the black already underneath, we don't have to add too much of the dark green. We just want to add that 4 dimension. So I'm going to load my fan brush with it. Again, you can use your medium brush if you want to, but I'm using a fan brush. Thanks, Marin. If you're at work, but if you are, I hope you're having a good day, and I hope Farrah's having a good day too. All right, so with that green, I just want to add it kind of towards the bottom areas of where I want it to pop up. I'm not going to add it towards the top because this is more of our shadow color. So again, I'm just adding it towards the bottom area. If it comes out of the black blobs that you have established, that's fine. That it's not a big deal. I have some of them that are like that here. So for example, this one, there's some areas where it kind of comes out, and that's fine. I promise you, nobody's really looking at that when they look at your painting. They're always looking at the overall. The artist is the only person who's, looking at their painting. Oops. There we go. But yeah, the artist is really the only one who's doing that kind of stuff. You can also use the tip of your brush, like I said, with the fan brush, but definitely use the tip of the brush if you're using like a standard flat brush, like the medium brush that I use, my janky brush as of right now. So again, I'm just getting that green in. We'll be moving on to our medium green in just a second. Let's say that you don't add this green on your leaves there. What's going to happen is that your greens aren't going to pop out as much. They're going to look pretty flat. All right, so you're not, I don't think you guys are able to see that. Especially because it's a dark on dark right there. But oh, actually you can see it right there. There we go. Y'all could see that right there. Alrighty. So I did make a medium green off camera. Again, all I did was just add more yellow to the green that I made to go ahead and make it a little lighter. So now with that medium green, I can add this one anywhere. I don't want to cover all of the dark green that I just added, but I also don't want to leave too many open gaps, right? So this one is the one that's kind of gonna go everywhere, and you can also make shapes with this one. So what I mean by that is, let's say for example this one right here, I can go ahead and take that medium green and go all the way down here to make a shape going down, and it's going to establish a little pattern there. So you could do that with all of the leaves that we got. I hope y'all could see that, but I will close it up once I'm done putting this color down. You know what? There you go. So again, just to reiterate, I'm not covering all of the black that I added. I don't want to cover all of that color behind there. Thanks again, Mark, for coming in. Alrighty, so I think y'all could see that from there. Again, I do appreciate you coming in, Mark. Hope you have a good day at work. All right, and now we are down to the last step right here, which is the highlight on the tree, or I'm sorry, on the leaves. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a very light green, mixing some yellow with it, to make like a yellowish green color. So just to show y'all right here, this is the color that I'm using. It's very light. And I'm using my liner brush. Now, I did load it, but what I want to do is I want to do kind of like dots. I don't want to do, or I don't want to use the brush that I was just using because I want to add this very, very conservatively. I just want a tiny bit of it. It's just a tiny bit of highlight to add. Again, you can go along with the brush strokes that you've made to add different dimensions. Oh yeah, for sure, SS. Thanks for being here. If you're getting out of here again, thank you so much for being here. I think that's why I started doing the streams because it's definitely a lot of negative stuff out there, and I just want to relax, do a little painting. So I'm glad you guys enjoy these. If you end up painting any of the examples that I have, please by all means show me. I love to go ahead and see those and see people are actually enjoying them to the point where they want to do it themselves. I it makes me really happy seeing that stuff. So if you guys are joining in and doing your own version of whichever painting I did, um, I like seeing them. I am on Discord, so y'all can always send it over on Discord. But if you're not on Discord, then at some point I'll pull it up my a good email for people to contact, especially if they're looking into commissions and stuff like that. All right. Add a little bit more of that light green. To make it pop even more. So we probably went over on time, but I really do like the look of this painting, and I'm hoping you guys do too. So I just want to say thank you again, everybody, for coming in, checking out today's stream. I'll show you guys a close up. There we go. There we go. Oh, I completely forgot about those. Green areas down here too, but you know, you don't have to stay. I'll end the stream in just a bit. I just want to say thank you, everybody, to you know, for coming in, checking it out. If you're coming from Mike's, I do appreciate y'all actually staying and checking it out and whatnot. I know it's different than what he does, but like I said, I appreciate y'all coming in, dropping a like and all that good stuff. Hey, what's up, Moldy? Thanks for being here. It's pretty much towards the end of the stream, but I do appreciate you being here. I'm just finishing off a little bit of the green that I forgot over here, actually. If there's a whole tree, there's got to be some sort of grass, right? It just has to be. Otherwise, it wouldn't really make the most sense. What planet is that? It could be any planet you want it to be. I don't know if y'all read or have read any Kurt Vonnegut books, but this actually reminds me of Slaughterhouse-Five for some reason. That'd be a good planet. I think it was called Tralfamadore, something like that. Something like that. Oh, nice, SS. Yeah, for sure. I don't have a schedule as of yet of like, oh yeah, she streams this and this day. But I'm trying to be consistent as far as how many videos I drop a week, which is around 3 at the moment. And the times are all just everywhere. So I do apologize for that. I need to get a good schedule so that way people know when I go live and stuff. I might just stick to evenings because I know most folks are up and probably out of work and whatnot during the evening. The only problem is that I know a lot of other streamers that are, you know, way better and way bigger than I am are also on. So it's one of those things where I know I'm not going to have a bunch of viewers anyway, but all right. So let me show you guys again the close up of today's painting. There we go. It's a better view. I'll show you guys a close up of the example that we have. You know what? I might just keep this one. I might just keep it. I still do like how it looks. I might just do something else with like the bottom part here. It's just too much of this color, and I kind of messed that up when I first did it. But I was trying to fix it so hard, and I think that's why I like doing an example painting and then the real one or the one that I'm doing live, because then I can fix the mistakes that I did on the example painting. But sometimes the example painting is a lot better. So this time it was different. There we go. Oh, there we go. Man, why am I always so crooked? All right, without the glare, here it is, zoomed in. I really like all that going on. And again, here's our example. I even think the rocks came out a lot better on this one right here. All right. So again, thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate you. If you guys know of anybody who's live right now, we could do a get a raid. We're already over the time. So if you guys know of anybody who is live that is a small streamer like myself, so that way so that way we could keep it, keep it with so small streamers. I know Jim Bob is on, but I'm not about to raid Jim Bob with my woman painting stream. You know what? I'll just let you guys get to your own stream wherever you want to go to. I just want to say thank you again. I just saw the notification. LD, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for donating to the show. Um, I don't know if you're still here, but LD, I appreciate you so much. I'll send you a message after. But thank you again, everybody, for being here. I will see you guys for the next painting. Again, I might be doing the sandwich painting this week. So we have a sandwich that I'll be making here from home. And I'll do like instead of having like an example painting like this, I'll have a still life recreation, so that way we can paint not only the sandwich but whatever's in the background and that kind of stuff. And yeah, so check out that, or watch out for that, because I will be doing that this week. And then we might have another painting as well. So again, thank you so much, y'all. Have a great day and happy painting.